Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our Rabb. He is the doer, He is the creator, and He is all living. What do you mean by all living? He never died. He is not created, neither is created, nor He dies. He is Allah. No one created Him. He creates. Understand? You can't understand that because you are created. That's why you don't understand. You say, who created Allah? Because you are created. So you can't understand something are not exists without being anyone creating. You can't understand. And you can't understand that He never dies. Because you die, and you see everyone dies, and every creation of Allah dies. You can't understand it. So don't make yourself to be harassed, disturbed by that fact that Allah, there is no one who created Allah, and Allah never dies. You should not worry about that. You shouldn't keep on questioning who created Allah. If I am created, who's created Allah? You are created because you are not God. You are not Allah. And you die because you are not God. So God is one who no one created Him. He created, and no one died. And He is a God. He is the one that never dies. So a time will come when every entire creation of Allah, including the angels, dies, disappeared, expired. He remained alone. Can you understand that? You have to accept that. He never gave birth. Neither he has parent, nor he got children. He is alone. Kul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid walam yulad. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. These are 1/3 of Quran. The value of 1/3 of Quran. You read this 3 times with the intention to please Allah, you'll be rewarded as if you read the Quran, the whole Quran. You understand this, you believe in it, you believe almost 1/3 of the Quran. The very foundation of the religion of Allah, which is called Islam, is this kalimah. There is no God except Allah. The oneness of Allah. Kul, say. Kul huwallahu ahad. God is one. No 2, no 3, no 4, no 10, one. Is it very hard for you to accept that fact? You just think if a country have 2 prime ministers. If a country having only 2 prime ministers, what will you have in mind? Certainly you think that that country will be in chaos. A country cannot have 2 prime ministers at one time. Even though officially 1 prime minister, but another opposition party acts like a prime minister, there will be chaos, like in Venezuela. Chaos, and the result of chaos is, of course, there's no peace. economic problems. We have Prime Minister, but we have many people want to become Prime Minister in Malaysia. Chaos. There should be only one Prime Minister at one time, and nobody else, after he has been appointed, nobody should aim to topple him, but submit to him, obey him. Then the country will proceed to growth, to stability and prosperity. You see, we have one Prime Minister, but we have many who envied that position, who trying to become one. Still, there is chaos. What more if there's two Prime Ministers? One the real Prime Minister, the other one is the opposition Prime Minister. As in Venezuela, the country is infected with turmoil and miseries. Economy has degraded to such a lower level that make people who live in poverty, and with poverty comes sickness. One of the greatest disease which we never tend to refer to and to try to cure is poverty. Mentioned by one doctor, that Indian doctor, always appear in the YouTube telling about this. The greatest disease is not heart disease, it's not eye disease, poverty. Poverty is a disease, and it gives rise to many other diseases. Understand? Because poverty will lead to stress, stress of mind, stress of soul. That stress lower the immune system of the body. Lowering the immune system give rise to many other diseases. All the diseases which has come to us as a result of degraded immune system. Our immune system is like the army, in the body, that will attacks all enemies. The enemies of the body are the germ, the virus. So once germ come, the immune system will go and attack and kill the germ. But if the immune system is degraded or low or not strong or weak, as a country, you have an army, very weak army, then the country will be taken over by the enemies. Similarly, as a body, the germs, the virus will overtake it. So people will attack the germs. The germ will mutate, become more furious germs. As now COVID-19, you give vaccine, they go to a different strain. You give another vaccine, they go to another strain. So your immunity must be strong, and the basic for health is peace of mind. And peace of mind, when you have food to eat, but rather, if you don't even have food to eat, I don't think anybody will be able to live with peace. That's why poverty is the greatest disease. So no government is trying so hard, or in the correct way, to eradicate poverty. Even though they have make the effort, but they cannot make everybody to be completely free from poverty. So Islam, has given a system where the rich among the people of any community have to pay, they call it alms tax or zakat, 2.5%. These are not observed by the Muslims, by the rich Muslim, because of love of dunya. They don't observe this. And now in Malaysia, they pay tax in order to eradicate, they pay the zakat in order to lessen their income tax. And the tax are given to the zakat center, which keep the money and not giving to the poor that much. They may keeping, but they're saving more than they're giving. So the very purpose as why the rich have to pay zakat is because to eradicate poverty. There shouldn't be any poor people in any country. That should be the aim, and it can easily be solved if people have iman, if the rich have iman. In Malaysia, previously, when there is no work of even anything of any da'wah, there are very few people who pay zakat. But once da'wah start, the numbers grows. When the correct da'wah is being done, the number will even grow higher and higher, to the extent that every rich people who are above poverty level will pay zakat, and the whole problem is solved. To the extent that there is no poor people at all in the country, they will help to eradicate poverty in other countries of the world. So the world finally will be a place with no poverty. So the basic of all this is belief. The human being must have the correct belief in order to have a correct lifestyle. Correct belief will lead to a purified soul, will lead to purified actions, giving zakat and alms tax, or on top of zakat, giving charity is greatly awarded and then greatly mentioned in the Quran. To give a part of the sustenance which Allah has given to you in the path of Allah is a very obligatory order of Allah. It is part of the effort to make a person of conscious of Allah, or person of taqwa. If you want to become a person of taqwa, you must be charitable person, and you must give money and alms tax, charity, not to become richer, not to be known as a charitable person or philanthropy, but to please Allah. If you give charity as Bill Gates is doing, when Bill Gates on his own is not please Allah, because he doesn't believe in Allah. It's to be known as philanthropist. That will not work. You won't get out of that charitable work. You become people of conscious of Allah. First, you must recite the great kalimah. There is no God except Allah, Muhammad Messenger. After reciting the kalimah, you must embark on the work of fulfilling the right of reciting the kalimah is the work of striving in the path of Allah. What is the work of striving in the path of Allah? Is to promote kalimah. To promote and to propagate kalimah, to preach to the entire mankind. Those who have accepted the kalimah, they must fulfill the right of the kalimah. They must do the work that fulfill the kalimah. Those who have not recited the kalimah must be persuaded to recite the kalimah. Upon reciting the kalimah, the first work that they must do is the work that fulfill the right of the kalimah, and that work is the work of striving in the path of Allah with your wealth and time. See? What is striving? To propagate the kalimah La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah to the entire world. In other words, people recited the kalimah, and the kalimah is inside their hearts to the level which Allah is pleased. So that is the work that we have to do immediately after reciting the kalimah, which are not done ever since. It seems that no one understands this so far. No one. That after reciting the kalimah, you have to do the work that fulfill the right of reciting the kalimah. The kalimah it have a right, have obligation to do, have work to do. It is not simply reciting the kalimah. I've been numerous times has compared this to the kalimah of nikah. Numerous times. That is of the similar nature. Kalimah nikah, you recite that I accepted, her as my wife. That recitation of kalimah nikah doesn't only stop at reciting it. It has obligation associated with it. It has work to be done. You have to work to fulfill the needs of that lady whom you're going to get married. A house, clothes, food, sex, the children that will be born as a result of that marriage. You have to take care. Their clothes, their children, their education. And that is the obligation, the work which associate with the kalimah of marriage, kalimah nikah. Otherwise you cannot. Your nikah will not be accepted if you only recite the kalimah of nikah and then you make sex and you leave her without food, without clothes, without education, without Islam, and you leave the children, you just simply have sex. This is not a person who has fulfilled the right of the kalimah nikah, the kalimah of marriage. Similarly, when we recite the kalimah, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, we simply recite only and say we are Muslim. No. There is work. We have to fulfill the needs, not the needs. In this case, not needs, the wishes and the desire of Allah. We have to fulfill. Why we fulfill the needs? The kalimah La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, not the need. We fulfill the desire. What is the desire of Allah? The whole entire mankind, jinn and mankind, accept Allah as their God. There is no God except Him. Every man and woman, man and jinn have to accept this. So, after reciting the kalimah, we have to embark immediately without delay the work of propagating the kalimah. Go throughout the world, from your place, from your locality to your town, to your city, to your country, to the whole world, to propagate the kalimah, and using your own wealth and time. You have to give your own time, and you have to spend your own money, and you have to be patient doing the work. You should not, repel evils with evil. We must repel evil with good. Must be patient, steadfast in time of ease and adversity. Continue to strive with your wealth and money and time and your health to propagate the kalimah, so that everyone in this entire world accept Allah as their God. And these are the wishes of Allah. We have to fulfill it. Able to fulfill this, we are fulfilling the right of the reciting the kalimah. Unable to fulfill it, we are not fulfilling the right of the great kalimah. As a result of that, we will be made to become the dwellers of the hellfire. If we are able to fulfill the wishes of Allah, the desire of Allah, then we have fulfilled the obligation, the responsibility associated with reciting kalimah. We become the dwellers of paradise. And this is basically Islam. And that work have to be done with sacrifice of wealth and time. And your wealth and time, and also your jazbah. Your jazbah means your spirit. Sometimes you don't like to go, but you have to suppress it. You go. What is called? It's jazbah. It's actually your enthusiasm not to go. You suppress it to go. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it, but you have to suppress it. That you have to sacrifice that desire of not wanting to do to the desire of wanting to do it. It's very difficult words to use. There's none in English, I think. So we have to do with that, with that iltizam, with that spirit of doing, striving in the path of Allah. This is called jihad. The striving in the path of Allah with your wealth and time, that's called jihad. So when we do that, then Allah makes the kalima to enter into our heart. In other words, the kalima become our belief. The stronger it becomes, the stronger is the foundation of the religion of Islam. The stronger the foundation, the real Islam we will be able to embrace upon ourselves. We will be able to embrace Islam to the fullest. The more stronger the foundation is. The foundation is the correct kalima. There is no God except Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. This is the very first thing that everyone should do after reciting the great kalima. The first thing they have to recite the kalima. After reciting the kalima, the work which are incumbent upon them to do is to make the great kalima to be embedded into their belief, into their heart, and embedded to the core of their heart. So that is the first order actually after reciting the great kalima. That's why disobeying this order of striving in the path of Allah with your wealth and time is the greatest sin committed by those who have recited the great kalima. And if you have committed the greatest sin, then you will surely make all the other sins. And the whole life is full of sins or evil deeds. So no deeds will become good deeds unless the foundation is being erected. No one will have good deeds unless the foundation is erected to the deepest core of your heart. If you can understand my English, you have to do this work of striving in the path of Allah. You have no choice. There's no choice there's no choice to not doing it after you recite the kalima. After you have recited the kalima, there is no choice of not doing it. There's only one way. If you only recite the kalima, then hellfire will be yours. So the thing people say, if you recite the kalima at the end of your life, it said in the hadith that if your last word is La ilaha illallah, you will be dwellers of paradise. This is false hadith, which are greatly being used and mentioned and given speeches about it by many. They didn't realize that these hadiths are false hadiths. It is a very false hadith. Not to do anything, not fulfill the right of the kalima, no need to do the work of fulfilling the right of the kalima, only waiting for the time of death, then to recite the kalima. Then the fellow will go to paradise. This is not mentioned in the Quran at all. Not even one single words. How can there is a hadith saying that if you die and you say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, you will go to hell, you go to paradise. Even you do nothing, basically nothing. So with this belief, the Muslims are very eager, to persuade the person who is about to die to recite this kalima. This is called talqin. They keep on, whispering to him to recite the kalima. A person who recite the kalima, and that's the only thing they do. They don't enter paradise, but they will have, intercession. Probably they may get intercession if they recite the kalima. As Rasulullah has done to his uncle. He didn't say, you recite this kalima, you will go to paradise. He didn't say that. You recite the kalima, I may give you intercession to save you from hellfire. So how you come to the belief that you recite kalima at your death time, you go to paradise? This is a false hadith. You should stop using it. It is not true. The moment you recited the kalima, you should fulfill the right. You should do the work of dawah. You should do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people with your wealth and time. In the way of Muhammad Sallam, with the intention to please Allah. With sacrifice, you must strive with your wealth and time. We keep on striving. We must. Until the time when we die, we cannot stop striving and saying that I'm tired. there is no such thing as tired. Once we decided to take this kalima, we have decided to make our life to be in time of ease or difficulty, istiqamah, steadfastness, to strive on the path of Allah at time of ease and adversity. That's called patience. That's why watawasa bil haq, watawasa bis sabr. We have to do the work of truth. Watawasa bil haq. We have to remind each other about the truth. About what? About the truth is kalimah, la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. We have to do the work of reminding, propagating, persuading, talking about the kalimah. And we have to do the work with patience, steadfastness, and consistency. That is actually, but Muslims are not doing it at all. They recite the kalimah, that's about all, and they follow the religion of their forefathers. Why they follow the religion of their forefathers? Because the kalimah is not embedded into their heart to the level more than what Allah is pleased. Not even to the level of Allah pleased. More. Then we can have the true Islam. If a person only recited the kalimah, they will not have khushu' in salat. Not even a person who have the kalimah embedded into his heart to the level which Allah is pleased, just pleased, they will not get khushu' in salat. He will get khushu' in salat when the kalimah is embedded to the level which much higher than the level which Allah is pleased. Then you will get khushu' in salat. And when you have khushu' in salat, then only the salat will become means of solving your sorrow, anxiety, your problems, and becomes a means to prevent you from evil deeds. So evils are prevented only when a person has khushu' in salat. A person will only have khushu' in salat when a person has kalimah, which has embedded to the level which is much higher than the level which Allah is pleased. How much work we have to do in order to attain that level of iman? It's so much work. We must sacrifice to the maximum that we can, whatever we have, to strive in this path. Because to us, the world is to be left behind. We are not going to live in this world forever. Never ever. Anyone will ever be able to live in this world forever. Everyone will die. We leave this world. Why you need to love the world? We love the world so much as if we are living in this world to eternity. We are not living in this world to eternity. We are living this world for only a short time. Rasulullah has made the example, the analogy, or the analogy of the life of this world is like a traveler, who travel. You don't even have a homes. A traveler, have a very small luggage because he's a traveler. But we, instead of becoming only a traveler in this world, we want to live in this world ever after. We want to live in this world to the fullest of our desire. We build big house, buildings, as if we will never die. No, we will die. So Nabi Sallam says, we are a traveler, and we will leave this world. And you should not bring so much. You can't bring anyway. So it's a mistake. It's a great mistake to those who intended to live in this world forever. You will never be. You have to leave this world. A time will come when you'll have to go. Either you like it or you don't. You want it or not. You have no choice but to die. Then only you know the truth that this world is temporary, but it's too late to realize at the time of your death that this world is temporary. It's too late. As Bill and Steve Jobs have come to believe. At some, he died at the age 50 something, I think. His words, what he said, Life is nothing. The pain that I am bearing now, he said, I cannot ask anyone to bear it except me. I have money. I can pay people to do work for me, to make money for me, to drive my car, but I cannot pay people to bear the pain that I'm having now. So how sorrow he was, how regretful he was at the time of his death. Spending so much time in earning money, he got so much money, and yet he said, I can't pay people to bear the pain which I have. So much painkiller, morphine had been injected, but the pain never subsides, remain. So it's a very great sorrow to die with great pain. There are many who are unable to speak as he did. The pain that they have to undertake at the time of their death. On top of that, Steve Jobs said, you don't become proud while you're living in this world. You don't become arrogant because you have wealth, because you can drive expensive car, you have expensive wallet. He said, wallet of 3,000 and a wallet of 300 contain the same money. He said, expensive car or not expensive car, you reach the same distance, you reach the same place of your destination. You want to go to a place, you drive an expensive car, or you drive a very simple car, you reach the same place. You are on the first class or you are on the third class. If the plane fall down, you fall with the plane, he said. So his advice is, which is not correct. Love your loved ones, spend time with them. Don't think only what this worldly thing. It's nothing. He's saying something like that, but he doesn't know. He have iman, because none of us has ever probably invited him. It's our fault. There are not only one Steve Jobs, millions in this world, billions, because of the injustices done by the so-called people who are Muslim, the one who recited the kalima in this world, about 1.8 billion, are not doing the work of propagating this Greek kalima. They are staying at home, wanting to become like the non-believer, wanting to become like the kuffar, thinking of becoming like the infidels, buildings, big houses, drive big cars, traveling with pomps and fancy, thinking of living in this world forever. No, it's a fallacy. This world is not meant forever. It's not meant to be made forever. It's only temporary. It's a place that we have to go. We are a traveler. A day when we come, we will leave this world. A day will come when we will leave this world. And this is the time of truth. We must always remember our death, because the hereafter is our destiny. It's not this world. This world is not our destination. Destination is in the hereafter. Either we go to hellfire or the paradise. So in order to be able to travel and to live this world and end up in paradise, we have to become a good traveler, a traveler like Muhammad SAW, if not like him, more or less like him. And the first work that he did, and the work that they did, and as other prophets are doing, is the work of striving in the cause of Allah, striving to propagate Islam. The whole life is devoted to that, and that should be our life. We are asked, ordered by Allah to follow him, not to only saying salawat to him. So many people are so fond in reciting salawat, thinking that the more salawat you do, the more the Prophet will love you. The Prophet will love you if Allah love you. If Allah do not love you, Prophet will not love you. and just reciting salawat, Allahumma salli Muhammad and all this, like the one group of Muslim, the so-called Muslim in Pakistan. What do you call it? Barelvi, you know, group Barelvi in Pakistan. Oh, they're so fond of salawat, they will get very angry with you if you don't do salawat. So much engrossed with salawat, and they're thinking that is the way to become the lover of Muhammad sallallahu. We become the lover of Muhammad if we become the lover of Allah. To become the lover of Allah, we must obey Muhammad. Not only giving salawat, obey, do what he did. What his main work is, the work of striving in the path of Allah, the work of propagating this religion, this kalima. Now when he was asked to stop this work, tears flows. He said to the Quraysh who have come to ask him to stop the work, he said, even if you give me a sun on my palm of my right hand, even you can give me the moon, because the Quraysh was telling you, stop this, whatever you want we give you. You want a wife, beautiful wife we give to you. You want to become king, we make you the king. If you want to become wealthy, we give you all the wealth. What else you want? You stop this work. He said, if even you give me the sun on my right hand, the moon, I will never stop. What more reason you want to give to stop this work? What reason you want to give not to do this work? Only because you are sick, because you are tired, because you are no time, because you are this and this and this and this, I cannot do. When you are invited to do the work of dawah and you say no, I'm tired. You're being asked to go out in the parlor, say no, I got many jobs. You've been asked to do the work, no. I want to rest. This is not. Rasulullah said, if even you give me a sun, which we will never be able to do, a moon, whoever can do it, nobody can. But he said, even if you can, I will not stop. You see? And we now not doing it at all. We're thinking of dunya and we want to live in this world forever. We will never be able to do. We will have to die. A day will come and we have to die. You have to remember that time when you're going to depart from this world. You'll be made to see, the angels of death. That time all people around you are not able to see that angel of death, except you who are about to die. If you have not lived in this world the way Allah wants, the angel will appear like, a real fierce, horrified face, which I also didn't know, but you will be very sick and you will be shocked, and he will take your soul, not from your head, from bottom, great pain. But if you or become a traveler like Muhammad Sallam, making the work of propagating the kalimah to be your main work, your wealth and time, you never rest, never think of stopping, going ahead with your wealth and time. Tell people there is no God except Allah. Propagate the whole world so that they can accept this kalimah, not only with their mouths, with their heart, to the core of their heart. Then at the time of your death, angel will be sent to you, and they will say, no, don't be sad, don't have any fear. You don't have fear. A good news for you, you will enter paradise. Then you will smile. This is what we want to make our life, which are very short, which Steve Jobs are unable to know this, because nobody tell him, and probably he never hear also my lecture. I used not to give lecture in English, I'm usually in Malay. Only now recently, we are really fools, the Muslims, the so-called Muslims, the one who is reciting are really fools. They didn't know their religion. The first order, they don't even know. Whole so-called Muslim, whole world, including their scholars, their ustad, and never told the people that the first order after reciting the kalima is to do and to strive in the path of Allah. They were thinking that this work is done after we have become a good Muslim. No. To become good Muslim, we have to do that work, striving in the path of Allah with your wealth and time. Propagate the kalima. This should be the first work. Not that we do this work once we become a holy man or so-called pious man, knowledgeable man. So they what they were propagating, all the scholars, Islamic scholars says, you become learned first, you become alim first, you become worshipper first, then only you do dawah, then only you strive in the path of Allah. This is a great mistake which has been made by the Muslim scholars since the death of Muhammad SAW. They propagate the wrong thing. They're telling the Muslim the wrong order to be the first order of Allah. They were saying that you must learn first, you must study Quran first, you must become knowledgeable first. This which we never fulfill until today. Whatever they have propagated has never been shown to be existed in this whole world. Muslims still ignorant, Muslims still having weak iman, Muslims still are not able to practice the order of Allah. What the scholars are doing, they are keeping quiet. They themselves are not able to obey the orders of Allah. They only have the picture of a scholars. They are not scholars. In fact, they deviate the people from the true path. So the first order of Allah is not to perform salah, it's not to learn. The first order of Allah after reciting kalima is to make the kalima to be embedded into our belief, into our heart, to the level which is much higher than the level which Allah is pleased. Minimum to the level which Allah is pleased. When it reaches to the level which Allah is pleased, we become the true believer with good deeds. When it goes beyond the level which Allah is pleased, then we become the lover of Allah. We should aim to become the lover of Allah, because that is our purpose of life. The reason as to why Allah has created us. Not to only become a true believer with the good deeds, but the lover. So that we'll be able to enter paradise and to be able to be placed in paradise on the upper level, near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is our purpose, and the path towards reaching the purpose is to strive with your wealth and time on the path of Allah, on the path of propagating the great kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.